Oh, hi. So, hello. Hi. So I have the Rustic dance song that I want to play for you, and I'll give you some helpful tips at the end, so stick around. It'll be great. We'll have lots of fun. All right. First line of business is we're going to warm up to play. We don't just play. We have to warm up and then play. That's how you play really good. So I have the metronome here, and I'm gonna just set it to 78. Never mind. Let's just do 55. Just 55. Put your metronome on 55, and play a D major scale. Preferably you would play a scale in the key of the song, which is D major. So let's play that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you got a good job. You did a good job. You're nice and warmed up now, I assume. So let's get right into the song. All right, so I'm gonna play it for you at 2 tempos, and the first one is the concert tempo, which is 132. Quartet equals 132. So play. Just turn your metronome to that, or just play along with me, and we'll get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Sorry for all the clipping. It was very hard, and I hope it sounds okay in post. So that was at full tempo, or concert tempo, which is 132, and that's very fast. Now I'm going to play it at practice tempo, which is half the regular tempo, which is 60. That's a lot of words. Many words. Alright, so now I'm going to play for you the exact same piece, but it's 60. At 66. All right, you sounded great. So again, sorry for the cutting. I just had trouble with it. That's just a good reminder. Everyone is just as bad as you, but you can be just as good as everyone else. That didn't make any sense at all. All right, well, you did good. That was sounding great. Now I'm gonna go through the tips to help you play it better, because maybe there's one spot that maybe you had trouble with, and maybe there's one spot that you just don't have any idea how to play. So I suggest you listen carefully and maybe play it once or twice if you need. So the starting, or just the basic rhythm of the entire song, which is it's almost throughout the entire piece. It's always that same rhythm, and sometimes you have a different note in some places, but it's practically the same, just the same. And then we'll talk about some interesting things. So at measure 4, there is a change. Instead of doing an open A, you have to do a 4th finger D. So here's a fun trick for you. I didn't do it, but you can. Instead of doing open A's throughout the entire start of the piece, you can just use 4. You just use your 4th finger for the entire part, and then when it gets to the 4, you don't have to change anything. It's always just the same. Pretty standard. There might be like at measure 7, you go from 2 0 1 1 1 2. So that might be a little hard. There's lots of note skips like 1 3 3 1 2. So just look out for those if there's any like spots, like for instance, if you get stuck on measure 11, then just write it in and say, hey, this is a, what I like to do is I just like to write what the fingerings are. So I would write 2 0 just to remind myself that it is a 2 and then a 0. Makes it much easier. Yeah, that's throughout almost the entire piece. For measure 17 is a little bit weird. You have to count 1 2 1 2. So it's a good idea to count. You count a lot. It's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and I don't suggest you count all the time. Only the parts where you really need to, or the parts you're having trouble with. So it's 17 1 2 1 2. And on that same note, let's go at measure 25. Well, kind of measure 26, but measures 26 to 25. There is a 5. You have to count 5. So it's 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. It's good to count. You can also count 4 1 2 3 4 1 2. I don't do that. It's your personal preference. It's personal. You do what you like. And also same at measure 25. And there's you actually change the rhythm a tiny bit. You just go. It's only so you count 1 2 3 4 5 and. No, it's 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. You can count that. You can count the whole section in 5s if you really want. I didn't, but it's a good idea. You should maybe do that. It'll make you think, oh yeah, 5 5 5. That's the fun part. At measure 22, you have to keep this in mind. 22, it's you have to use an open A instead of a 4th finger. I like to use 4th finger for a lot of things, but in this specific instance, it's better to do an open A rather than a 4th finger A, because you're going. instead of, it just complicates things and you don't need the 4. You just do open A. Makes it easier. Let's see what else we got here. At measure 24 to 23, there's a kind of a weird thing going on here. It's about the skipping notes thing. You go from a, so it's 3, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, and you know, you can write that down if you really want. And then this is fun. So there's a fun thing in the piece. It's you have a repeat, except it's not just a repeat. It's a repeat from measure 21 to 25. So I'll explain it. So you'll be playing throughout the whole piece, and then at measure 44, you would see a kind of a repeat-looking thing, you know, that you'd find at the end. And measure 21, you'll see the same thing. So the idea here is you go from measure 45 to measure 21, and then play that whole thing again, and then just continue playing normally throughout the whole piece. I'm sure Mr. Smith maybe told you about this, or maybe not. It's just a repeat. You can look it up, and if you can look up on the internet and see, like, when you want to get into more specifics and endings, maybe, it's just whatever you want. Let's see, is there anything else? Not really. Alright. Well, that was all I noticed and I tried to cover here. If there's something that you had, like if you had a personal, maybe you had some trouble at 90, maybe you had trouble at like 39, and you said, oh man, maybe I should try to fix that. You definitely should. It's a good idea if there's a part that you're really bad at, or the part you need to play better and you don't think is very good, you play it over and over again. Like for instance here, so like for instance here, let's say for instance you were having trouble at, I don't know, 22, and so the idea here is you just play that over and over again. I'll give you an example. 22 to 23. Alright, and then you play again. So you just play it over and over again until you play it properly. That's how you would play anything, ever. That should work throughout the entire piece. You just, if there's a part you're not very good at or do you think you need to get better at, you just play it over and over again. And that should be about it. Remember, scale at the start and practice tempo. It's always start at practice tempo and continue gradually going up. You want to go from like 66 to 68, then 72, and then 77. Just, you know, continuously gradually going up until you reach the concert tempo. And I've heard this from a friend, and he said that you should you should go slightly above concert tempo, so that when you play it at concert tempo, it feels slow, because you're used to it playing much faster, which is a little bit harder. I haven't done that, but I don't know, maybe it works. Hey, tell me if it works. It sounds pretty cool. I might try that. So that's it. Thank you. I tried to teach as much as I possibly could, and I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's all up to you, though. I can give you all the tricks and all the best tools ever. The thing is, you need to practice. It's all about you and practicing. So go practice. All right. Thank you. Bye.